What's up YouTube? It's Ghostwriter15 here, back at it again with another GOAT format video. And today's video is going to be my deck list that I made top 16 with at the recent Format Library Championship. I played Chaos Turbo as usual, and I didn't make too many crazy changes, just a couple of changes here and there, but yeah, let's just jump right into it. So starting off is of course BLS, staple, sorcerers. 2 is the correct number. I've messed around with 1 and 3, but 2 just feels like the best. And then, of course, the 3 Thunder Dragon. The 2 Magician of Faiths. This is another card that I've messed around with at 3. I used to play 3 often, but I don't know. I think 2 might just be more consistent just because I'm not playing enough spells. Like, as you can see, I'm not playing MSC or Book of Moon in the main deck, so I think 2 Faith is fine. Then 3 Spy. I've tried 2, but I really like 3 because Warriors everywhere. Warriors getting way more popular, and they're just everywhere now. So I think you have to play 3. And then 3 Dekoichi. Most lists play 2. For this event, I actually decided to go with 3 just because I wanted to have more flips in my turn 1 opening. Especially with Dust Shoot running around everywhere, they just get rid of the monster that you can actually set that turn, and now you have a dead hand. So I wanted something that's good turn 1 to set. And then the 2 Night Assailants. I really like the Night Assailants. They're really good for easy +1s. They can get you back cards like Magician of Faith. That way you don't have to rely on playing 3. You can just get it back whenever you need it. Then the 1 Sangan, staple. Sinister, staple. Breaker, staple. Tribe, staple. You might notice that I'm not playing Tsukiyomi in this list, and that's what I decided to cut for the 3rd Dekoichi. I didn't really regret it too much. There were a couple of times where I did need the Tsukiyomi, but overall it still performed fine, but I might put the Tsukiyomi back in for the next event. Then for the spells, 2 Upstart. I think it's a staple in Chaos Turbo. 2 Noblemen of Crossout, staple. Trinity, best cards in the format. Snatch Steal, staples. All these spells are pretty much staples. Then for the traps, I played 3 Jar Greed. I like playing 2 or 3. For this event, I decided to go with 3. I just wanted more speed, more consistency, cards that let me draw into Trinity more faster, and it did happen pretty often. Also, it's pretty nice to be able to bait out a Heavy Storm when you set a Jar of Greed along with another trap. And there's times where you have double Jar of Greed and you just make your opponent go -1 with their Heavy Storm. And then Triple Judgment. I expected a Warrior heavy meta for this event, and I was right. This card was really good against all the Warrior players I played against. Unfortunately, it's kind of mid. Not mid, but not as strong versus Chaos Turbo. Because I will admit Dust Shoot is better versus the Mirror Match, just because you can activate it right away, you can see the info in your opponent's hand, and also it's immune to Heavy Storm compared to something like Judgment, where you have to pay half your life to negate something like that. But what I do like about Judgment over something like Trap Dust Shoot in the Mirror Match is that it does prevent cards like BLS and Sorcerer from ever hitting the field and from using priority, and it also sometimes sets you up for guaranteed game shots. So I think this card is still really strong, but it might depend more on if your locals or the meta you're playing at a tournament is more warrior heavy or more turbo heavy. So if it's more like turbo heavy, then Trap Dust Shoot is better. But if it's more warrior heavy, then Solemn Judgment is better. And then I decided to play a triple Regeki Break. This is kind of like not standard. Most lists play 2, But I decided to go with 3 just because I wanted something that replaces MST in the main deck but is more versatile. And this card's really good against just about every matchup. Against the Warrior matchup, it's a little iffy because they pressure you pretty fast. So sometimes you might go -1 with this card because you're forced to discard a card that you don't want to because they're rushing you down. But in every other matchup, it's amazing. Like against the control matchup, it's amazing. In the mirror match, it's amazing. And in the burn matchup, it's also amazing. So I don't regret playing 3. It was nice. Um, then of course Ring, it's a staple. And then Mirror Force, it's a staple. I decided to go with Mirror Force over Torrential in the main deck just because I think Mirror Force has more value, especially game 1. Like, let's say you're going first and you set Flip Monster and you have the option of setting Mirror Force or Torrential. Usually, Mirror Force is a better choice just because Warrior players are always going Blade Knight, they're always going Mystic Swordsman level 2. So that can be pretty rough. Also, Breaker can be a problem if you have Torrential in a flip set. Like, I know it's still Mirror Force is still not that good against a Breaker, but at least you're only losing 1 card. Like, you still get to keep your flip monster. So I just decided to go with Mirror Force instead of Torrential for the main. Then for the side, I went with 3 Sakuretsu armors and 2 Weister ruins. Um, so some of you know I don't like Swords of Revealing Light against aggro decks. I just like to trade 1-for-1s. I don't like cards that go -1. Cards like Swords or Book of Moon. I don't think those cards are good against aggressive decks. So I decided to go with the widespreads instead. Torrential, because if I'm not maining it, I have to at least side it. It's still good against certain matchups, like in the Warrior matchup, it prevents them from playing aggressive. Also in the Panda Burn matchup, you needed to get rid of cards like to get rid of Ojama tokens. And in the mirror match, it's not that bad, especially if you're going second. You need a way to clear spies off the field, so this card can come in handy. Then I've got the 2 Dust Tornadoes in the MSTs. Just back row removal. You need stuff to get rid of cards like Level Limit Area B and Gravity Bind. Really annoying cards. And in the Warrior matchup, they're going to be setting a lot of back row, and you need your Zumbira, which I'm playing 3 of. You need that card to connect, so I really like the Dust Tornadoes in that matchup. So the Zumbiras, they were really good overall. Like, even in the mirror match, they're pretty strong going second, so you can clear spies. And some players, they special summon Sork in defense, and this card can just run over Sork. Most players, it's just a habit of doing it, putting it in defense in the mirror match, because most players don't expect the Zumbira. It is getting a little more popular, so players are starting to catch on, but overall it's still very strong, and it runs over Kaiku, so that's really good. And then the last 3 cards I decided to side are the triple mind controls. The 3 mind controls, they're really strong against the mirror match, but unfortunately I didn't really see them too often. Um, I still think it's good because I like cards that are good for going second. Like, my other option was play the triple dust shoot instead, but I'm more concerned about the games when I'm going second. Going first, I'm not really too concerned. I think as long as you play right and your opponent doesn't open up extremely broken, you should be fine. But going second, I don't know. It's a little more iffy because going first is just really good. So yeah, I decided to go with the 3 mind controls, and they were good. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the list I decided to play for this tournament. I made it up to top 16. A little less than I wanted to, but it's fine. That's all I have for you guys today. Thanks for watching. This is Ghost Rider 15 signing out.